watching Medfield TV, community shows.
Medfield, I hope you're all watching Medfield TV for a good reason today. This show is called Medfield People, and my guest on the left is somebody that you've probably seen if you ever went to a town meeting or a warrant committee meeting or whatever, walked around town. You probably would have seen Mark Fisher, whose family history goes way back to the American Indians here in Medfield. It's amazing. And he's recently retired as a member of the Board of Selectmen. So that's why I asked Mark if he'd come and talk about his adventures on the Board of Selectmen and the Warrant Committee too if he wants, and how he looks for the future. So Mark, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yeah, and actually this is, I think, a good timing. It gives me a chance to kind of reflect a little bit over the last couple of months after I got through with the term as 9 years as selectman and stuff, and give me a chance to kind of think back on the good and the bad and the positive aspects of what's a great volunteer opportunity in Medfield for
And you started with the Warrant Committee, right?
Started with the Warrant Committee, yep. So I was on the Warrant Committee for about 5 years or so, and then ran for Paul Ruta's spot and stuff when he decided he wasn't going to run again for selectman and stuff.
Were you opposed?
Yes, yep. So
Who
it was.
did you run against?
We had Chip Lennon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of them, yeah, and Geraldine Warren too.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
Yeah. So it was quite a shock to me to kind of. I mean, I'd never run for anything in my life, and then all of a sudden you've got two folks that you've got to, kind of run against, and so it's pretty frightening many times. Particularly, they had the League of Women Voters had the candidates night at the senior center where we had a chance to. Field questions and stuff for the audience, and that was a terrifying experience for me. Not being used to that. Well, not being used to that, I think one of the things that I've always told everyone is one of the big benefits of being a selectman and stuff like that is just kind of getting comfortable speaking in front of people, or kind of being able to control maybe the nervousness and stuff that you have naturally, or most people do and stuff. So that was one of the big benefits of being a selectman, was doing that. So it was like I said, it was terrifying that
I found it hard. I was chairman of the Warrant Committee for 3 years,
Yeah.
my last 3 years.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what it would be like introducing the Warrant Committee people.
Oh,
so
yeah.
The first time I was chairman, I wrote down all the names
Yes.
on a piece of paper, except for Andy Ebert, who was my vice chairman. We
Yeah.
had become good friends. We went out to dinner a couple
Yep.
times. His wife joined my tennis
Yep.
group.
Yep.
So I've written all the other names down, and I'm
Yeah.
naming all these people.
Yeah.
And then I said, and here on my right is my vice chairman. I thought, what the heck is his name?
Yep.
I could.
Yeah.
So that son of a gun sat there like this with a stupid
Oh,
grin on his
just to
face.
make it, yeah. No, and it's very true. I made sure I did that too, particularly at town meeting, because there's a lot of people in the audience, and very easily to get to freeze up.
Well, I froze up from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. To make sure you write everyone's name down, because at the weirdest times, you'll have like a little bit of a brain freeze there, right? And you're just like, nothing will come out.
I was very nervous about it.
Yeah.
Were you nervous about this? More nervous as a Warrant Committee member and chairman, or as a selectman? Which was worse?
I think as selectman, yeah. And I think it took a little while getting used to being like on TV. Every meeting was televised.
I know.
That was a little bit of a change.
And the Warrant Committee wasn't. Yeah.
It wasn't, no. So you realize you're on live TV. So anything you say, or any of your mannerisms, or how you look, or even how you react to questions and stuff, everyone sees on TV. So, and I would get comments, feedback from my wife and family friends and stuff that would watch me. They'd say, wow, you didn't, whatever, you know what I mean? Didn't notice you on TV. Some reaction to something and stuff. So that took a while. But like anything else, it becomes second nature, right? After a while, once you get to do it a little bit. Yeah, you get comfortable with it and stuff like that.
The thing I thought you looked most uncomfortable with, Mark, for you at home, Mark was in the same high school class as my oldest child.
Yeah.
So I was always Mrs. to him.
Yeah.
All of a sudden we're members of the Board of Selectmen together, and I become an Ann, and you look very uncomfortable with it. Using the first name for a while.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it took a little while for that and stuff.
But who else was on the board when you first ran, your first year? Who was the other one?
Well, it was Pete. Oh,
it was Pete,
Yeah,
okay.
you obviously you, Pete, and myself and stuff like that. So it was good. Yeah, I really had a chance to serve with a lot of people. Right? Obviously, you and Pete and Richard DeSorga was on, and then Mike Marcucci. Yeah. So a nice cross-section of Medfield and stuff. I really enjoyed it. I really did.
I did too.
Yeah, it's a great experience for folks out there. You have to be able to set aside the time. It's a commitment, a time commitment, and you've got to understand that. But if you can do that, I think it's very rewarding. You get to know a lot of people.
And
right?
you have to be willing to disagree, though.
Yep, you do. You do.
And listen.
And listen, yeah. To viewpoints that are that you maybe hadn't thought of before or completely different to you, and try to kind of soak it in and see where folks are coming from. So yeah, it was a great experience, really a great learning experience. I can't emphasize it enough. If anyone out there is that interested in serving and stuff, just as long as you can spend the time and make sure you set aside the time and have the right balance between your personal life and perhaps your professional life and the volunteer thing, it's a great thing. It's a great thing to do, you know.
Did we disagree on any major issues? I'm sure we did.
I mean, the only thing I think probably like lot 3, we probably going back, because that's come up so many times over the years,
it's
right?
It's come up again.
Yeah, come up again, you know, and it goes back and forth, you know, as far as, you know, every once in a while we get someone to be interested, you know, going back and forth and stuff, and they're just tough, you know, and I think maybe anytime, buildings I think were pretty good though. The senior center I think was fine, I think we agreed on that, it was a good spot for that, and DPW was good, but things pop up from time to time. You can't help it.
I think it's important to have differences of opinion.
Oh yeah,
I really
definitely.
do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's why I told some people that I was going to interview you, and I said, "What do you think his strength was?" You know what they said?
Yeah. What?
You'll probably be surprised.
Yeah.
They said you listened more than the others did.
Yeah.
That's a good tribute that you listened.
Yeah. Well, you do try to focus, and I know particularly a lot of people that come before the board, you know, are kind of on the spot, particularly if they have to come up to the podium there and speak.
Awkward too. Yep.
Yeah, you know, and most people aren't comfortable speaking in front of people, and then they know they're on TV, so they get that much more nervous. So I think if you can try to spend a little time and try to really focus on them and zero in what they're saying, help them to kind of relax a little bit, it goes much better. So they have a better experience, you know, because it's not easy for a lot of people to get up in front and talk.
Now, you grew up here for generations.
I did.
How many, 11 generations?
11 generations, yeah.
Always in Medfield?
Always in Medfield.
Now, did any of your family ever hold public office here?
Yeah, the original Clark did, yeah, Joseph Clark, the original settler that, you know, that came in the 1650s and stuff. So he was selectman for, I think, one term or a couple of terms back then.
And your mother was the Clark, that was the connection?
That is correct, that's the connection,
That's what I thought it was.
the Clarks
Okay.
and stuff like that, yeah. So you're related to the folks of the Peak House and, you know, family house on South Street Extension and stuff like that. So, you know, kind of moved around. The original homestead for our section of the family, the original Clarks, was on South Street, kind of right across from the entrance to the high school. So that land there and stuff like that. So in that area right there, flats. So that was his original parcel right there that he was granted, you know, for one of the original 13 settlers. So that's where he was, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You don't know why they came, of course?
Oh, I think I think they probably needed space. I think like anything else, right? And I think a lot of folks that came to the New World really needed space, freedom to farm, right? And kind of, I think, have a place of their own. I think as soon as they get a little crowded, right? Yeah. People want to move and stuff, you know? And so it's,
Would you encourage your kids to run for public office?
Yeah, I think so, if it's right, and I think what's most important, if it fits into their life and stuff like that. If it's the right balance, as long as they're not hurting something else, you know, particularly your family life, right? I think you've got to, you know, families first, you know what I mean? So as long as you're not, I think, sacrificing something else, you know what I mean, to do that, it's a good thing to do, because it really enriches your life. I mean, all these great people I met, you know, gotten to know you much better, you know, and everyone else, right?
And I'm not a missus anymore.
No, but all the great people in Medfield, you know, that you get to meet through helping out and volunteering around the town,
it's amazing
right?
that people
Another whole group of people that you would never meet before.
Exactly right.
Yeah, and particularly for me, you know, obviously I've always lived in Medfield, but I've always worked outside of town. So I would be typically like most other folks, you'd be just home at night, right? Get home after work and then be home on the weekends, but gone most of the time. And it's hard to have as good of a connection with your hometown unless you get involved, right? Through volunteer work and stuff. And my wife, of course, does a lot of stuff too, and it continues to do that. So it makes a big difference. Adds another level of enrichment to your life and stuff like that. You know that. It's really,
I like being involved, I really do.
Yeah.
I wish I'd grown up here.
Yeah.
I had a good friend, Pauline Goucher, who died
Yeah.
a few years ago, and she lived
Yeah.
on Pine Street.
Yeah.
And she grew up here, and she used to
Yeah.
tell me stories about
Yeah.
the people that she knew, Joe Ryan, the fire chief,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
later Bill Mann, the
Yeah,
police chief.
yeah.
But she and Joe were friends from the time
Yeah.
they were kids, Mary Downing,
Yeah.
on Green Street. And just wonderful hearing the stories of what they did as kids,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what the town was like.
And stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. It's always been a great town, as you're well aware, and stuff like that. Growing up, it was a great place to grow up, and we were very fortunate, to be able to buy our my parents' house, a number of years ago on Kenny Road, and be able to raise our kids in the Medfield school system. A great town, gets the kids off to a good start. Gives them a good foundation to get them launched off in life and stuff. So it's a great town. It's always been a great town. Changed a lot, obviously.
Absolutely.
But everything has over time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly a lot more people than we were growing up, and things are a little more congested, more traffic and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Things were simpler, obviously, when we were younger and stuff, and nicer in some respects for that. I think a simpler way of life, but that's the way it is. Everything's changed.
And at school, you were in the band, I think, if I remember right?
And yep. So and that was great. I think I've told the story many times. I'm very much an introvert and stuff, so the band was really my social outlook and my social kind of connections in Medfield. Your daughter being in the band and a lot of other folks, and of course my claim to fame, of course, is that Bob Meany, our police chief, was in the band with me. 2 years older than me, but
What did he
sat
play?
right. He
Tuba?
played the sousaphone, same thing, tuba,
okay,
same thing.
because that's
same
what I'm
thing,
picturing him as,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So he would sit right in back of me because I would play the baritone saxophone or the bass clarinet. So we have the same piece of music. Essentially, we would be playing the same part of any piece. So it was great, great fun. It was really good, a good time. Enjoyed high school and stuff there, and it was a great social outlet there. The band members and stuff doing stuff together.
I think, was the principal Mr. Johnson or Felides?
Felides.
Felides then?
Felides, yeah.
Felides, Tass
Yeah,
Felides.
Tass Felides, yeah.
Wow.
So it was good. Long time ago, and we won't talk about that too much, but no, yeah, time flies.
Who was your favorite teacher in high school?
Oh boy, I tell you, that's hard to say. I would say probably, the one that certainly sticks in everyone's mind, I think, was Mrs. Stahl,
Oh,
who
probably.
was for English and stuff,
yeah.
and I think she did Shakespeare and things
Yeah,
like
she
that,
did.
stuff like that. So she was, I think, one of those icons and stuff that was there, and so at least it sticks to mind, one of them anyways.
Yeah, I would think so. She's
Yeah.
certainly one of the best, I would assume.
Definitely, yeah. So,
Almost everybody mentions her.
Yeah.
How about grammar school, middle school?
I don't know. It gets to be a blur. It's hard. I don't remember. Other than Mrs. Rossi was certainly
Mrs. Rossi was
fourth
wonderful.
or fifth grade when I was in Dale Street School and stuff like that. I always remember her being a great lady, stuff like that. Just very nice, So.
And of course, there was no Wheelock school back then.
Nope. So we just did Memorial School, Dale Street, and then into
yeah.
middle school, junior high
Right.
school. Yeah. But things were a lot smaller then, relatively speaking.
Fewer kids.
Yeah, fewer kids and
Fewer
stuff.
kids.
Yeah. It was good. Yeah.
I hope it still stays a welcoming town, though.
Oh, I think so.
For
I
all
think
age
so.
groups.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
Because I have 3 kids. 3 of my children live here in Medfield.
Medfield,
And
yeah.
as you know, Barbara's on the Warren Committee
Yeah.
and loves it.
Yeah.
And my son Michael works on the grist mill, and John
Yeah.
coaches soccer.
Yeah.
So I'm glad my kids are involved.
Yeah. Well, I think that generational type thing works out really well. You kind of carry that down. So I think all that flavor, everything will stick there, so that it won't. It'll be the same. Yeah. It really is. Yeah. It's a nice town. Great town. We're very lucky. Very lucky to have grown up and live here.
But you work for a bank that's not in Medfield.
That's true. Yeah, I work up in. I've never worked. I said too close. I did work in Canton for a number of years, which was great. But I'm up in Winchester now, so a little bit of a commute. But what are you going to do? Just the way it is, Yeah. It's a great place to work. I love the bank. It's very rewarding and challenging. So you put up with the commute, like a lot of people do. Particularly tough. Luckily, I don't work in Boston. That's very difficult
Yes.
for people. The people got to get into downtown Boston. That is tough.
Where did you go to college, Mark?
So I went to Vanderbilt University for undergraduate in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
And then graduate school, MBA, went to Northeastern, where I met Lucille. So.
That's where you met?
Yeah.
I didn't know
So
that.
we're in the same program together. Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. So it's pretty good. And it was nice about Northeastern too. My father had graduated there from the engineering school, going to night school. back when it was really focused, you know, the school, Northeastern, been on, you know, part-time, people getting an education,
Right,
and stuff
absolutely.
like that. So, so it was nice to be able to go back and, you know, kind of the next generation go to school there and stuff. It was nice.
Yeah, my daughter
was good.
Mary Ellen went there, and then she stayed on, went to law school,
Yeah, yeah,
and she liked it.
yeah, yeah,
She got into several other law schools, but she liked the idea
Oh,
of
good.
Northeastern.
yeah, good for
And
her.
she could live at
yeah.
home and commute and not have to pay.
Yeah, no, same thing there too. Yeah, we lived at home while I was going to school and just drive, you know, back and forth Huntington Avenue, Route 9
Right.
and stuff, and easy enough to do. Easy enough to do. Yeah, it was good.
And we had a bus service for a long time,
That's true.
and the
that's true.
train service, of course, ended.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. yeah,
That
we
was
had-
a loss, but
It was, yeah, yeah. You know, a good friend of mine, you know, Craig Harwood, which you know
Mhm.
Craig and stuff like that. Yeah, his father worked for many years for the telephone company downtown Boston. So he would take, I think, the bus every day that would stop in downtown Medfield, you know,
Oh.
and then go right in, you know,
Wow.
and do that. So that had to be a grind if you think about
It
that,
is,
being
but
on the,
yeah.
on the bus every day like that.
Mhm.
That couldn't have been easy. Couldn't have been
Yeah.
easy, you know.
but worth it to be able to live here,
Exactly, yeah, yeah. Your kids grow up and stuff, yeah.
because
So,
we were so lucky that we found it, and you're lucky that your ancestors found
Yeah,
it, that
yeah.
the Clarks found it.
yeah, yeah. No, it's worked
And you've
out
never thought about leaving?
No, it's good. It's comfortable, you know. Feels good. Feels good. Who knows, you know, once we retire and stuff, you know, where we go and stuff. But it's good. It's good for
Yeah,
now.
I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine leaving.
Yeah, yeah,
I just can't imagine it.
yeah.
What was the best thing about being a selectman?
I think, well, obviously, getting things done that people were very passionate about, and being able to kind of pull together. It's not easy, you know. Town government's a little messy, you know, and it doesn't go as fast, I know, as some
I know
people
it
would
doesn't.
like to see. You know, it's not like private business, you know, but once you realize that's just the way it is, and in some ways I think that's kind of a good protection, you know, sometimes by kind of muddling through things, you make sure you hear everyone's viewpoints, and you get it right eventually, sometimes by taking a little longer than rushing into something. So that was always, I think, the most gratifying, I think, is getting something, big things done. You know, certainly getting I think the buildings were very important to me. You know, getting the DPW building done, finally get a good home for them that we don't ever have to
And
worry
I
about
was
for
glad
a
for- I was
long,
glad of
long
that
time.
too.
You know,
I
and the
really
public
enjoyed it.
safety building, same thing too.
Yeah.
It was, you know, it's a disgrace what they were in, the little teeny, you know, jammed in there and stuff like that. And I know people think the building looks huge, and it does look big, but you know, if you're designing something for 50 to 100 years, you want to make sure you do it right the first time.
I voted
right?
for it.
Yeah, yeah.
I did.
And it will be needed. It'll be needed as the town grows and things change over time. you
Especially
know.
with the hospital
Exactly.
property changing.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll have full-time fire department, you know, so you're gonna need all that space eventually with full-time firefighters and stuff. You can't help it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great, you know, obviously we've got a great building committee, a permanent building committee that really knows what they're doing.
They
you know,
seem to
and
be.
yeah, you know, and really, you know, shepherd both projects through. So I feel very good about that we get some big infrastructure things done, you know, while I was on the board. I think it was very, very important to kind of, you know, get those done and kind of take care of those buildings and stuff. But like I said, and it's always frustrating, I think, you know, it's hard, you know, we're very constrained with the budget, you know, you got limited resources. You never can do everything you want to do,
No,
right?
absolutely.
And you want to help everyone, a lot of great ideas for programs or whatever, but it's tough with the tax base. You got to always watch out for people's taxes. You just can't go willy-nilly. And with Proposition 2.5, as you're well aware, it's, you know, you're fighting that every year, you know, so it's hard. There's just never enough money to go around, so it's definitely one of the frustrating aspects of it. But, you know, you do the best you can.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think the people should be really, you know, comforted to know that, you know, everyone that works in Town Hall is very professional and really is thinking, I think, about the best interests of the heart
I
of
miss the town hall
Yeah,
folks a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the benefits, I think, for working as a selectman, is you get to know, besides other volunteers, everyone in town hall
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, and get to see what they do every day. Hard job, working with
It is.
limited money, and they do a great job, and they work very hard. You know, everything is just much more demanding now with regulations and everything. And it's, you know, a lot of great people, so you do get to see how people do very, very good things that all behind the scenes that people don't ever see. They just take for granted, right? Your water's going to be working, right?
Yep.
And that the police will show up when you have a problem, or the fire department and
Absolutely.
everyone else, you know? They just take it for granted, you know? But it's a lot of hard work to make sure things happen without crises and stuff.
And
you
Mike
know?
Sullivan's always there.
Yeah, and it's stuff. And that's another benefit too, right? Getting
Yeah.
to know Mike, really good friend, Great stories. We'll talk about anything, and very entertaining. So, that's another one of the benefits of being on the board. I get to really make another friend.
Is there any committee you'd like to be on?
Hard to say. I don't know. I haven't really given it too much thought lately and stuff like that. But there'll be something soon and stuff, as I think, as I think back and see.
I'm sure there will be.
Yeah, yeah. Just give it a little chance to kind of.
You active in the Historical Society at all?
No, I haven't been, and of course that would be probably a good thing to do.
It would be with your family.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I feel a little guilty at times,
But you are living history of Medfield.
Yeah, but I feel a little guilty at times not having done more of that stuff. But they do great jobs and stuff, in keeping Medfield history alive. The society does.
Yeah,
really do.
my daughter's on it, but
yeah.
I think it'd be a perfect spot for you, because you know more from personal accounts from your parents and your grandparents.
Yeah, yeah.
Did your grandparents talk about it much?
I never really got to know them at all. My maternal grandfather had passed away when I was very young, and so did my maternal grandmother.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's just kind of just stories that just kind of come down and stuff. Yes. Yeah, yeah. So between other family members and stuff.
That's too bad, because you would have had some good ones.
I know. Because that's one of the greatest things, I think, people, if they're lucky enough to have a grandparent around while you're in your kid, you're old enough to realize that, is the great stories. Grandparents are the best storytellers, I think.
I had several grandparents that liked to talk.
Yeah,
so
it's great, because you hear about a whole different period in time and how people lived and what they did. I just found it fascinating. I was very lucky, that my dad's mother was around for quite a while until I was a senior in high school. And so she was a great story. Yeah, at least that we would visit her house before she went into a nursing home. But, so she would tell great stories.
Yeah.
We would go over to visit and stuff, the old days and stuff. Fascinating.
So I think Medfield's in your blood.
Yeah, for now, yeah.
Whether you want it to be or not.
I know. Yeah.
It's even in mine, and I've only been here, 54 years or something.
Yeah, but you really jumped right in, which was great.
But
you know what I mean?
It was fun to jump right in.
Yeah, it made a big difference and stuff for you, sure.
The first couple months I was here, I was a member of the Kenny Road Bridge Group.
Yeah.
And that's how I met your mother.
Yeah, exactly.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
And you were just a little kid.
That's a little kid, yeah.
Who called me Mrs. Thompson.
Yeah, exactly.
But not anymore.
No, I'm going to try not
anymore.
to. Although, it's got a nice ring to it. I like it, yeah. I do.
Oh, so any regrets for holding those town offices, both of them?
Nope. Definitely not. No, it was a great period of time. Like I said, it's difficult at times just balancing the commitments, and that's the hardest thing, I think, and knowing kind of when to say no, because there's more stuff. You can be out, as you're well aware, every night of the week doing so, so you just have to strike the right balance that works for you between your private life and the public life. Make it work and stuff like that, so that you feel that you're contributing, but yet you're not hurting other aspects of your life. So that then that's the trickiest thing. You get the balance right for that. But other than that, no regrets. Nope.
Wow.
Nope. Great experience. Really.
And you like Medfield High School and the whole bit, and the marching band?
Yeah. Everything was good. Yeah. And it's great to see the kids now. Kids are so much, they're so much smarter and more talented, it seems like. No, really,
I don't know.
Yeah. You see the band and the jazz band, and the orchestra, and the strings instruments, and you go, oh my gosh. Night and day between, when I was in the band and when the kids, what they do now. Just night and day. Kids are amazing now. They really are.
Even the teams.
Yeah.
Like I have a grandson that plays varsity soccer.
Yeah.
And the coach gave him number 22, which my 4 sons all wore.
Yeah.
And it's my one son, Andy, came back up from South Carolina to watch number 22 on the soccer field.
Yeah.
He said, even though it wasn't actually the same soccer field as when he played all those years ago, he's a year ahead of you in school. He said it was just something very special about coming back and seeing Medfield on.
Yeah. Nope, it's great. School system does, as you well, a great job, and it's not easy. It's not easy, certainly, but we've been very fortunate to have great superintendents and everything in the school committee, right? Puts in the time.
So far.
Puts in the time.
So far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worked out well.
I wore one of my Medfield scarves.
Excellent, yeah.
Medfield Days coming up. I'm
Yes,
sure
it
you'll be
is.
there, and I know
Yeah.
you've bought scarves before.
Yes, so that'll be good, so I'll have to keep an eye out for
We
that.
give these away free if you make a donation to the Cancer Society.
Very
So
good.
at the head of the pond on North Street, you'll see a booth with scarves hanging down, and some young girls are helping me out, so it should be a fun day.
Yeah.
But it's a great sign of Medfield, I think.
It is, yeah.
'Cause people come back, all the
Time to-
guys that have moved out, a few of them have come
Because
all
you
the
run
way
into
back.
people, right, and you walk around, you
Yeah,
see people doing
it's
it.
wonderful.
It's a great day.
It's like a reunion day.
It is. It's a lot of work, obviously, and we groan and complain, and we're all very sore the next day after being out all day and setting stuff up. It's a long day, but we've usually been blessed with great weather almost all the time.
Yeah.
And you feel so good when it's done that you did something, and allows Memo to raise some money to be able to give back to the community, and you get to see a lot of people. You really do.
I think it's great. I'm
It
always
is.
surprised that the people come up and from 20,
Yeah.
30, 40 years
Yeah.
ago and say, do
Yeah.
you remember me?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's, to me, that's what Medfield's about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Keeping your friends and keeping your memories. And
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I'm sure, hopefully we'll keep our fingers crossed the weather's good again this September, for Medfield Day. It's fun. I volunteer in Kids Alley. I've been doing that for the last number of years, and that's a lot of fun, watching the kids. Boy, the rides are fabulous now for kids. It's not just a little bouncy house that you blow up in your backyard anymore. They got some great rides for the kids. So it's fun. It's a fun day.
It is a fun day.
It is really a fun day.
It's a fun day, and I think it's a fun town.
Yeah, yeah.
I just want it to stay a good town. I
Yeah.
really,
I think it
as
will.
you know, that's why we've got involved, to try and
Yep,
keep it that way.
Keep it that way, yeah. Try to do the right things best you can.
Very
Yeah.
tried, always
Yeah,
tried.
Always tried. yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, 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 definitely.
I don't know, probably made a few mistakes along the way, but not for
Nah.
anything but lack of trying.
Well, that's right. And like anything else, if your heart's in the right place,
Mm-hmm.
then that's all you can ask anyone to do, is to try to do the best they can. And I think that's important too, just as a follow-up to, people sometimes will complain that the process is very slow getting things done in town, but we have to rely on a lot of volunteer committees. People have
Absolutely.
regular jobs, regular lives, and they're very generous to donate their extra time. So it takes a little longer sometimes. But, and things are very messy, can be very messy trying to get to the solution.
Absolutely.
But everyone's heart is always in the right place.
I hope so.
Right, yeah, I think so, most cases. People are trying to do what they think is the right thing for the town, and we get there.
So you
I
urge
get
everybody out there to
Yeah,
something.
everyone be a yeah.
certainly find out what's going on before
Exactly.
you,
Oh, and one thing I think, as you and I have both found, being on the warrant committee first, right, is great
to
training.
me, that was perfect.
That if you can do that, it's like and that's training ground. But that's not really that's giving the warrant committee short shrift. But it's a great way to kind of an entree into that, because you get to know very important to get to the numbers, right, and the budgets and how
Yeah.
the town runs. And how that money is spent. And of course, you start to develop your connections. You get to know people, right? Because the warrant committee,
Absolutely.
you have to meet with all the different department heads.
Right.
So it's easier, the transition.
It's a marvelous way to learn.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
I had an advantage. I started running for the newspaper,
yeah, yeah.
only
yeah.
in Medfield, so
Yeah.
it was very easy. And then I was on
Yeah.
the library board
Yeah.
after that, so I had some basic idea
Yeah,
from those two things. But
Yeah.
still, the warrant committee opened my eyes.
yeah, definitely, yeah. So
That's why I think
Definitely.
it's such an important job.
yeah,
I
I
really
think so.
do.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So I think that's a great way to kind of prepare yourself if that's what someone would like to do and stuff like that. I
And our
think it
two
works
newest
out well.
selectmen were warrant committee members.
Exactly. Yeah, and it makes it so much easier.
Gus Murby and
Mike
Marcucci.
Marcucci, right? So they came in because they already understood the numbers, understood how the budget worked. It's tricky. Municipal finance isn't like business finance. It's another animal. Things are different. It's just different. The way things are accounted for. So if you can get a little bit of a step up on that, it helps a bit. It really does. Makes life a little easier. You're a little bit more effective, I think, quicker.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, because you're not having to spend quite as much time learning and stuff.
And
Yeah,
I like being on
job.
the library board first, because then I knew a little bit about how the different boards work.
Yeah, and that's
than
true.
I would
That's
have.
true. Yeah, that's
So
true.
that gave me
That's
a little bit of
yeah.
initiative there
Yep,
too.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, very, very good idea. Yeah. So baby steps, I think, for people to do. Yeah, try
so-
it. Try something.
So that's your advice to the people
But
out there?
try it. Yeah. Look for a committee and see if you can get on it and volunteer a little bit and be committed and see if you like it. You might find you do.
And you might find you don't.
That's right. But it's okay too, right? Yeah.
It is okay too,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it does happen. People think they're going to like it and then they
Yeah,
don't.
they find out. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so any more words before we close up?
I don't think so. Like I said, it's a great experience, as we've talked about. I would recommend it to anyone if they can balance everything with your personal life. And certainly, it's great serving a lot of people. Yeah, like I said, spending years with you and stuff, and everyone else on the board was great, good. Not every night was necessarily fun and games, but
That's right.
but on balance,
Overall.
a good positive experience.
Yeah,
And
overall
like
it was
anything
great.
else, like anything else in life, you get your good days and bad days,
Yeah.
good meetings and bad meetings. It's the way it goes,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Yeah, so it was good, very good.
Okay, well, Mark, thank you very
You're
much for
welcome.
coming.
Yeah, glad to do it.
And for you people out there, thank you for watching Medfield TV. And if you have any other ideas of people to be interviewed or come talk to us, give me a call or send me an email at annmedfield@verizon.net. And again, thanks for watching Medfield TV, and thanks, Mark Fisher, for coming.
You're welcome, Ann.
That was
Thanks.
great.
Thank you.
That was great.
Good.
The preceding was a production of Medfield TV.